You know, there's a big difference between a game that performs well on social media and a game that's actually fun to play, right? In this day and age, everyone wants that social media clout, and who can blame them? Attention make brain chemicals, make brain feel good. But what performs well on social media doesn't always translate to comfortable gameplay. First thing being the camera. Videos on social media are so small. People are watching this stuff on their phones. In order to grab someone's attention as they scroll through the monotony, you gotta have something eye-catching. And for a game, this usually requires seeing the playable character front and center. Having the camera this close to the player is great for those kinds of posts, because it broadcasts all the animations and little details. But if your game relies on any kind of platforming or action that requires you to have a sense of your surroundings, well, then this angle's gonna be a f***ing nightmare for players. They're gonna feel lost and claustrophobic, especially when they need to move fast. But on the other hand, a zoomed out camera angle can oftentimes be overlooked on a small screen. Just take a look at this normal clip of Mr. Sleepy Man. The uncropped version doesn't look like much, because it's meant to be played on a screen larger than your hand. Now, vertical videos actually kind of help in that regard, because you get to zoom in and crop the video without even changing the angle in-game. But in that scenario, you lose the context of the gameplay. So whichever way you have it, there's always going to be some kind of trade-off when you're presenting content that's meant to be consumed in a different format. But at the end of the day, the focus should always be making a fun game that plays well, rather than a video that gets a lot of likes. What do you guys think? Oh, you know something's up if you see a platformer and they don't damp the Ys.
Damp the Ys, damp the Ys, damp Ys, damp Ys.
When I say damp the Ys, I'm referring to the Y-axis in a 3D space, which is usually the up axis. In some programs, it's Z, or whatever. And when I say damping, I mean slowing down the camera's follow behavior relative to the player. If you don't damp the Ys, the character is hard locked to the camera, and it looks more like the world around the player is moving, rather than the player themselves. And this can easily get nauseating for some players, especially when you introduce fast gameplay. Damping the Ys, on the other hand, gives the player a better sense of space in the world. Now, you can prefer whatever you like. You may see the undamped version and think that looks better. It's okay to have bad taste. But let's just explain why damping the Ys is beneficial from an instinctual point of view. If the player wants to jump on something, the first thing the human brain does is look at the thing they want to jump on. You target it, and acknowledge where it is in relation to the character. Now, in the process of jumping, if that target moves or drastically changes its position on the screen, well, it's very disorienting. I think I'm gonna be sick. So at the end of the day, damp the Ys and save a life. I'm not gonna get too technical on how it's done from a coding perspective, but it helps to have custom scripts that manage the follow behavior of the player. So what do you guys think? Do you like them damped Ys? Or would you rather just make yourself throw up for fun? If you like my videos and you can't wait to play Mr. Sleepy Man, Wishlist the game on Steam. It's the best way to support little old Mr. Sleepy Man here. Look at this giant piano I made in Mr. Sleepy Man. Well, actually the sound is an accordion, but it plays the music all on its own. You can add some notes on top or even jump around and play whatever you want. What song do you want to hear Mr. Sleepy Man play in the game? What I love about this thing is that every note actually exists in the world space of the game. So if you're listening with headphones on, the stereo effect is really nice to listen to. And the coolest part is, what you're seeing is actually me playing the piano. Let me explain. In Ableton Live, my music production software of choice, I can create MIDI files by playing whatever on my USB keyboard. I took that MIDI file into Unity and made a script that reads each MIDI note and assigns it to the right piano key game object. So now it looks like the piano is actually playing the song in real time. This is one of those ideas that I could probably make a whole game off of, but for now it's just going to be this little prototype. And oh yeah, if you jump on this big pizza cutter turntable thing, it slows down the music. There might be a little puzzle in here or something.